Impact segment tonight. On Saturday night, President Obama spoke to the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington. He was there to rally the troops, but he may have bruised some feelings.
I expect all of you to march with me and press on. Take off your bedroom slippers. Put on your marching shoes. Shake it off. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling. Stop crying. We are going to press on. We've got work to do. CBC.
I found that language a bit curious because the president spoke to the Hispanic caucus, and certainly they're pushing him on immigration. And despite the fact that he's appointed Sotomayor to the Supreme Court, he has an office for excellence in Hispanic education right in the White House. They're still pushing him. He certainly didn't tell them to stop complaining, and he would never say that to the gay and lesbian community, who really pushed him on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or even in a speech to AIPAC, he would never say to the Jewish community, stop complaining about Israel.
And joining us now from Los Angeles, Dr. Mark Sawyer, teaches political science at UCLA. So, doctor, does Ms. Waters have a point?
No, absolutely not. She doesn't have a point. I mean, the president is talking to his friends. He used to be a member of the CBC, and he's telling them to get off their butts and work for this jobs bill, because that's what the community needs.
But the no whining, stop the complaining, it offended Congresswoman Waters because she says that it's a selective request to a targeted audience where he doesn't make the same request of other minorities in the country. You don't think that has any validity?
Well, I mean, his people have gone off to the professional left, so the liberal wing of the party. But also, yeah, I mean, he has a history of challenging the African-American community because he's a part of it. He comes from the African-American community. He used to be a member of the CBC, and he's telling them, look, get off your butts and really get out there and fight for this bill, because that's what the people that you represent need. They need to pass this jobs bill.
But he isn't doing it, though, in a positive way. He started off that way. Come on, get with me. You know, it's like a revival. But then he skewed negative, scolding them, because, as you know, there is a lot of discontent in some African-American precincts, and they're saying he hasn't done enough for us. He hasn't targeted jobs to the inner city community. Black unemployment's much higher than white unemployment. So he's scolding them for complaining.
Yeah, well, I mean, black unemployment was higher than white unemployment since before this president, probably will be after, unfortunately. But yes, I mean, he hasn't. I mean, he's certainly the president of all of the United States. But this jobs bill will help African-American communities. And people have been, look, we can't get outworked by the Tea Party. Those people are going to get out there. They're going to knock on doors. They're going to organize. And the CBC can't be sitting around hand-wringing in their house slippers. They need to be out there getting their people ready to go, because it's going to be a tough fight on our hands.
All right. So you didn't see anything objectionable about it. You think that the president was just trying to rally the troops. This jobs bill, you must know, because you teach poli-sci at a very prestigious university, it's not going to pass. It doesn't have a chance in hell in pass it. No, it would never get through the House. And unless it is totally revamped with much, much less government money in it, it's a waste of time. So people like me are saying, President knows it's not going to get passed. He's using this as a campaign wedge to try to create some kind of rallying cry to him. And I really think that's what's going on. Am I wrong?
Well, you know, the president could be looking for a pro-jobs, pro-growth coalition in the House that should include some Republicans. Should include some Republicans who take a look and say, there's plenty of things we supported here in the past, and this will generate jobs.
Listen,
look,
Doctor, any Republican voting for the president's job bill never going to get reelected, ever, in any Republican precinct in the country. It's death. I guess maybe you could find one or two who want to retire.
I'm glad you say that, Bill, because that's the whole point, is that you can't get a few Republicans to get on a pro-growth, pro-jobs bill.
You can't, not with a debt of $14.5 trillion. Not with a debt of $14.5 trillion, you can't. And I'm just speaking the truth. I'm not supporting one way or the other. I'm just telling you the Republican Party is saying, we're not going to support any more spending. It didn't work. We're going to go private sector now. And if you want to continue to spend, we're not going to vote for it. It's simple.
Well, a lot of it is private sector. It's tax cuts and things that they've supported in the past. And look, if they don't want to try and create another 2 to 3 million jobs, that's on them. They don't want to move the needle on unemployment. Look, there's got to be pro-jobs
Republicans did
people
try
out there.
in the beginning. I think most of them gave the president the benefit, but since it hasn't worked in almost 3 years, they're not going to do it anymore. All right, Doctor, we appreciate your point of view. Thanks very much. When we come right back, Megan.